Good morning, everybody, and a happy new year again. You are tuned to Computer Stuke now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Anmon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Gal.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Spencer's here.
Yes, sir.
And Mike is here.
Saving the best for last.
Yeah. I guess Nick will join us later. I didn't hear anything from him. But he probably played games last night. Our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software, Telestream's Wirecast software, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So what's happening with you guys? New Year.
We're here with you.
Yeah. Got
See,
nothing else to do.
Our resolution was not to avoid you. We decided to keep you on the playlist.
Thank you
even
very
though
much.
you were a bad influence on us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
My New Year's resolution is to wean myself from Amazon.
Uh-oh, what happened?
I hate them.
Okay, tell us.
They just lie. They lie through their teeth. They say a 1-day delivery, and then 2 days later they ship you a note and say it'll be delivered in 1 day.
Yeah,
and
I noticed
oh
that.
yeah, well that's the way we work now. Yeah, it is. I don't like them. I don't think that, and they keep jacking the price up, and they induced you to. I mean, it's like any other addiction. They induce you to join up, and they're going to give you all the adults in your house can share your Amazon Prime account. Then they change it to no, just two adults. I mean, they keep changing stuff that doesn't really cost them anything. They want us to sign up for 2 Prime accounts in this house, and it's not going to happen. So instead, we have to use the same account, and that way, when we buy gifts, we get to see what each other buys for each other. So I just want to get rid of them. I'm just tired of them. I mean, it's ridiculous. So $120 a year is what they're up to now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have a little article here about this.
Well, let me tell you something. I guess this is interesting. This has nothing to do with Amazon. I don't blame them for going out and being aggressive and trying to be successful. I admire them for the business success they've had. But at the same time, the effect that it's not just Amazon, the effect that online businesses are having on local retail, there will be a price to pay at some point in the future. There will be I don't know, some sort of a come to Jesus meeting at some point between online and store, because where was it? I was saying, we were watching, my wife and I like to watch this show called Salvage Dogs, DAWGS. It's on the DIY network, which nobody watches. And it's a group of guys up in Roanoke, Virginia,
Yes,
who go out.
Excellent show.
Yeah. I mean, if you're into that sort of thing, if you're not, it's got to be like watching paint dry. But we like that sort of stuff. It's called upcycling, and that they go out and they get historic pieces. They'll tear down a school. There's the boiler room has this particular sort of wheel in it for hoisting things around, and they'll turn it into a table and put a glass top on it. And they do a fantastic job. I mean, if you like that sort of thing, it's fun to watch. But anyway, the guy on there, Mike Whiteside, one of the 2 owners of the show, Mike, he and I same age. He said they were going into the shopping center to salvage what they could get their hands on. And he said, all shopping centers are going away. He said, online's just killing them. So that's at least their perception of what's going on. And I hadn't really thought about it, but if you look at some of the struggles that these facilities around here are having, even in our little a small part of the world, then I think there's going to be a price to pay. There's going to be a reckoning one day where I need something. I need to go pick this up. Well, you can't get it. You got to order it online. It'll be 4 hours or 2 days or whatever. And by the way, we don't have any competition now, so we're going to jack the price up. I'll tell you what I think is happening, and again, I'm just watching this almost from a pedagogical aspect, in that the cost of shipping, as we've talked about here before, the cost of UPS, FedEx shipping to us as individuals has skyrocketed. It is stunning how much it costs. I sent some XLR connectors to a guy up in Virginia. It cost me over $6 just to drop them in an envelope and send it at the postal service. It probably would have been 12 or $13 if I'd shipped it by FedEx or UPS. And the reason prices have gone up is because their big shippers get really, really low prices. And the way you can know is that if you buy an item from Amazon for $19 that would cost us $16 to ship, guess what? They're not paying $16 to ship it.
Right.
It's not arguable. I mean, it's easy to see. And what's going to happen here, and what I think I see happening, which is going to be interesting, and maybe this is why it's not all gloom and doom. Anything can happen, and I don't know what it would be. I would be interested in knowing what you guys think is going to happen. But you see now that Amazon's getting into their own delivery service. They, I believe, have a goal to not have to rely on the postal service, UPS or FedEx, except on the most unprofitable routes. It's going to be interesting that at one day it could be, how are you going to ship, FedEx, UPS, or Amazon?
I think it's also interesting to see their interest, Amazon buying Whole Foods to have a local delivery point. Or also, who was talking about having retail stores? Was it Amazon actually testing this?
Well, of course,
Where they were going to
Microsoft
have,
does.
yeah, but I mean, but they're for common items that are popular, to have actual retail stores where you could walk in and buy something. So I think there's going to be some kind of a hybrid. I don't know what it's going to look like.
But that's kind of what I'm saying here,
Yeah.
because let's think about it for a second. If these shipping rates keep going up like they are, and once they start filtering over into the high volume shippers, now the attractiveness of the lower price online because of shipping, it will be that maybe a local retailer can order truckload quantities, and therefore the per cost item, the shipping cost per item is lower. They can actually compete, if not beat, the online service. I'm just saying that there's a lot of unknown out there. I don't know how it's going to unfold.
Mike, you remember catalog stores, right?
Of course.
Yeah. And so I'm thinking it's going to be something like that, where you'll have a warehouse it could be the local distribution warehouse where you've got a retail front end,
Right.
where you can go and walk in without having ordered anything and just know, I got this one thing. And I'm dismayed by the amount of people that come and get pickup, like at Walmart.
Well, what you just described is called Costco.
I realized. Exactly. But it's limited quantities, limited selection, but great prices when they have a certain item. But I was dismayed by watching people at Walmart, because I see people pull up in their cars, and it's like, how much do you have invested in even moving, your body? I mean, it's like you can't walk through the store to go get this stuff anymore. It's just, it's kind of surprising. I realize it's not, I'm an older person, and I like to go look at something and touch it before I buy it. If I
There's
can.
more to it than that, Spencer, because anyone who's been in retail, and my family used to own several retail businesses, anyone who's been in retail will tell you that there's an absolute science to laying out your store.
Yes.
And fixing the attractiveness of your store such that there are impulse purchases whenever someone goes in to buy something. Case in point, if you go to the grocery store to buy milk and bread, I guess the primary two staples, why do you think they're located at the back of the store? Why do you think that when you walk down the aisle with items on it, why do you think the most profitable items are at eye level height? It's because the retailers have paid to have their products put in the most prominent visual position so that people walking back to get milk and bread will stop and buy a box of sugar or cereal.
Yep. I had a guy in our neighborhood who worked for Kraft Foods, who was a guy who dealt with all this stuff. He talked about how they buy end cap space and how much that costs. And it was a great, I watched a documentary about exactly what you're saying about how people walk into a store, they almost always turn right first. And they have learned how to steer people through stores. Have you noticed a Target? I haven't been to Target much, maybe 3 times in the last year, but the Target stores have all been redone again. In the interiors are different. You walk in, it's like, where the hell is? I don't know where to find anything, but it's all a science. They all figured out what to put where.
Well, they do that because I guess you're suggesting you have to start looking for what you want. And when you're looking for what you want, you see a lot of stuff you hadn't thought about.
Right. Well, at least it's disruptive in a good way to them until you get used to the store, and then they'll remodel again.
Well, I mean,
Oh boy.
how many are aware that Amazon has their own air delivery now? They have their own airplanes. Prime, Amazon, and they're buying more and more airplanes. We talked about it here. They're going around the airlines, around FedEx, around UPS, and their air delivery, and doing their own when they want to, when they need to.
Well, that was speculated when they saw Amazon getting into buying facilities around airports. They thought that was something that was going to come.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
I agree, Spence. I mean, all they have to do is create a counter in their distribution center
Well,
for people.
think about what Amazon, let's assume that we're on the board at Amazon, we're debating this issue. And I would say to you, Spencer, do you realize that if FedEx and UPS gang up on us, we're out of business?
Oh, yeah. Well, they're playing both ends against the middle where they work
Oh,
them. Sure.
yeah. So, I mean, I'm sympathetic to Amazon's plight on that one, and I support they're taking action to protect themselves by being able to ship things at a lower cost. And as much as I have disdain for them, if they come out with a freight or a shipping service that they're cheaper than FedEx and UPS, I'll ship by them. But I don't have to pay $120 a year for Prime. It's just a matter of principle. And my goal is, I think my renewal is in July. If I can get weaned from them between now and then, because I will tell you, I'm beginning to think they're an unhealthy addition. You ought to see what I buy from Amazon. It's sickening.
So this article that this guy wrote goes, the little Prime logo used to mean something. Now it feels like it only leads shoppers into a false sense of security
There you go.
until they go to checkout and see a shipping arrival date far later than anticipated. This cuts through the greatest promise of Prime. It's not just the free 2-day shopping, it's that it's so reliable you never have to think for more than a second about buying something. In this sense, Prime was constructed to be great for the consumer, so efficient, and great for businesses, mindless impulse shopping. He says, I've been a Prime member myself for over a decade, so I've come to expect that the rush of the holiday season will clog the arteries of Amazon's fulfillment centers and delivery services alike, and make shipping less than reliable. But anecdotally, to me and many of the people I know and work with this year, it feels worse than ever. It doesn't help that we've seen a slow delusion of Prime itself over time, with the rise of Prime Pantry and add-on items. They force you to buy a minimum number of items to get the best deal, adding back the very psychic burden Prime had eliminated from the equation of online shopping in the first place. As a result, it can be hard to find true 2-day Prime items that aren't marked up to insane prices by third-party sellers, but Prime was still Prime. This holiday, I've noticed things that are in stock and labeled Prime have nonsensical shipping dates. I'm not alone in experiencing shipping shock. Complaints about slow Prime shipping abound across the internet. Quora literally has a thread asking, has Amazon slowed down their free shipping speed intentionally? The top answer, with 22,000 views, is a consumer rant about late shipments. And many others chime in to confirm the slowdown and offer conspiracy theories as what could be going on. But yeah, it's like the neighborhood pusher. They give you a little bit of drug for free or for real cheap, and they get you hooked, and then you come back for more and more, and then they raise and raise and raise.
Well, in Amazon's defense, I mean, they they have grown beyond, they have to, in my opinion, I don't know this, they have to have grown beyond their wildest expectations. They
Maybe.
clearly have identified many problems that they have with their Prime program, and they're trying to fix those. I don't complain about late shipments because every now and then something will miss its delivery date. Sometimes even say it's going to be late and then it shows up on time. So they really are kind of uh, I guess are sort of lost in some of the things that they're doing. My complaint is when they, just like that article says, they say this is a Prime item. Well, what does Prime say? Free shipping in 2 days or less. And you look down there and it says that we will ship this in 4 weeks. Prime. Well, it's not Prime if it's not in stock and available. Well, we never said that. We don't have a definition that it means that. That's your interpretation. What they're doing now is they're able to take this big data collection that they have, manipulate that data, and figure out ways to tighten it up to make more money. And maybe it's because they have issues with their freight services and they're not making the money they need to make. I get that. But unfortunately, that ship has sailed. You told me what I would get if I signed up for Prime. I don't believe you're delivering what I agreed to purchase.
I think I need to read when I see a change in your Prime. It really is a contract. I should read the whole thing because I bet you it's in there.
Well, if
The
you
oth-
read it, you'll never sign it.
the it's
It is
also
what it is.
interesting to
You
look
just
at
vote with
how
your feet.
what? I'm sorry.
You vote with your feet. I mean,
Oh yeah,
at whatever point that it becomes not worthwhile, you stop doing it. And that's why I say I'm trying to wean myself off Amazon. I don't know if I'll succeed. I mean, what's the people try to stop drinking alcohol? How many alcoholics quit for good? It may not be able to do that.
I've been
Thankfully, I don't have
using
an addictive personality, so I don't like being addicted to Amazon.
I use Walmart more, not as much as I use Amazon, obviously, but I also play Amazon against other retailers. I buy a lot of auto parts online, and so the best place I found, the prices are fabulous. The problem is shipping. Is a place called Rock Auto, and you see it advertised on TV now. But I've been using them for over 10 years.
Down in Dallas, Texas, or somewhere.
Yeah, it's an excellent place. They do a lot of drop shipping from factories. They have this whole network set up. I understand and they started out, it was just 2 or 3 people. And you can get quality stuff with they have a great online catalog. And I've had very good luck with them. I've only had to send a few things back. And usually it's because I screwed up because I ordered the wrong thing. But you do pay for shipping. If you're willing to wait, if you got a couple of days, it isn't too bad shipping stuff ground.
I don't object to paying shipping totally. I mean, it's not, I'm not trying to be unrealistic that, hey, I should get everything for free. But for example, I was looking at ordering a parts cabinet, a plastic parts cabinet like the old Acro Mills drawers.
Yeah.
From Grizzly. The parts cabinet was $30 and shipping was $15.
Yeah.
What I like about Rock Auto is the part at the local auto parts store. If you can get you can't get the same selection that Rock Auto has, but there's a $70 part at the auto parts store that is sold for $30 at Rock Auto, same part,
Right.
and you
That's
pay
right.
the shipping is maybe half the difference if you want to get it in a hurry.
That's
So it's
okay.
still worth it. It's still
Yeah.
worth it.
That's okay. And again, whenever these people, there's a company that I really love that I buy from almost never, called Uline, the
Oh
letter
yeah,
U,
I have their
ULINE.
catalog. I have their catalog.
Look at their shipping rates.
Yes.
Oh,
Mhm.
But if you, I know I have several corporate customers locally that buy office stuff from Uline or stuff for their warehouse. And I guess it must be a good deal for them because they buy a lot of stuff.
well, they got free
So,
shipping at $500.
yeah, so it's good for big companies, for
Big companies,
yeah.
and even then, you got a lot of purchasing people who don't give a rip. Oh well, you certainly have to pay for shipping charges. People don't ship things for free. It's not my money anyway. I've got a lunch appointment at
And it's
11:45.
it's a path of least resistance.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick. Is Nick
Morning.
muted? Oh, there he is.
So where were you?
I've been sitting here for almost 20 minutes
Yeah, he's been here.
listening to your Amazon conversation.
Well, jump in. What do you think?
I think I've been doing a lot more buying from Walmart, and I see Spence said something interesting. Obviously, I think we all know this, that the store's layout, obviously, is what you guys are saying, layout to sell, certain. Why is the milk always on the back wall?
I said that.
Okay, so there you go. But as Spence was saying, that they promote the crap out of this online ordering. So clearly they are not seeing an issue with that. If they care, they wouldn't be telling people to order. I mean, they promote ordering things online. You go to their
Right.
website, order online, order online, order online. So they must not be seeing any dip in sale anywhere.
But my question about, and I agree with you, and my question about that is whether they're doing it defensively or offensively. Do they feel like they have to do it to preserve their retail market share, or are they finding out that they make more money doing it that way? Because the reason the question is interesting is that if they have determined that they're making more money doing it, then they totally miscalculated the science of placing things in their store for impulse purchases.
Or maybe they're seeing that impulse purchasing isn't quite as lucrative as it once was.
Isn't that what I just said?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
I
what I'm
agree with
saying.
you. I agree with you, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a myth, or maybe it was
Well,
more
it may be a
abundant than
shift. Maybe
Yeah.
it's a shift. That's why I was asking you, because maybe it's our generation that was subject to the previous science, and your generation says, nope, not going to work. Don't do that as much anymore.
I'm trying to think. I use the Walmart app, which, by the way, is like the greatest thing ever. This shows my purchase history. I went into Walmart to January 4th. What was that? Friday? Yeah, Friday, to get a case of soda. I left with just a case of soda, and they have that all the way in the back of the store. I mean, I wasn't tempted to buy anything else while I was there. I frankly didn't even look at anything else. I just walked
And-
straight back, picked it up,
And you had to ring yourself up. They didn't even have a cashier to
Nope.
ring you up, right?
No, and then I used their app. Didn't even touch my wallet.
Hmm.
So
Mickey says something in chat that's interesting. One day Amazon will go away. Well, Bezos predicted the demise of the company already. He said at the employees meeting that their job was to to keep the company from failing as long as possible, because it will fail. And I think that that's interesting to see that kind of an attitude, which is probably a healthy
Well,
attitude, because that everything is in cycles. And what's Sears? Here we are. How many times has Sears been on the brink of death?
death right now, real good, right?
Yeah,
Where is
it doesn't look good now. I don't know
now?
I don't know whether I know that guy offered two options. One was a breakup option, and one was just a buyout option. But the only place I've ever been to a Sears store lately, of all places, is in Fairbanks, Alaska, because there's one open there, and they actually have a decent store. It's just that there's never anybody in it.
Now I forgot. as far as Bezos saying the store's eventually going to go out of business, Toyota says they're never going to go out of business. They're doing, believe it or not, they're doing product planning 250 years in advance.
That's interesting.
So why is it that Amazon's got to go out of business and Toyota is not?
I don't know. I think Bezos realizes, hey, unless I'm creating an empire to leave to a family to keep moving along, I'm going to make my money. I'm going to burn up. I think it was a way to appease some people to make them realize why isn't there a big woke movement against Amazon? Because of the workers, right? They're working like slaves in factories.
Can't have any of that.
No, I'm saying if it was somebody else, but he's a darling. He owns the Washington Post. He's very much on the side of the left, and he gets a pass. Just the way that Warren Buffett and Bill Gates get a pass for what they make because they are on board. Oh, I think I'm not paying enough taxes. All they have to do is say that, and everything's fine.
All right. Well,
so Alan says his last Costco purchase was $1.57. I don't have to tell you what I got.
A hot dog and a soda.
That's what I was thinking. The hot dog deal.
That's what I got at Sam's Club on whatever day.
I started going to lunch now for Costco for a slice of pizza.
Nick, Tish wants to know what you got your parents
with a soda.
Tish wants to know what you got your parents, your mom and dad.
Let me get the model number. Let's see here.
He doesn't remember. I
do remember. I want to get the exact model number of it. It is the long model number, but it's the Honeywell RTH9585 WF1004. It's a
I'm sorry, what was that again?
Link in the chat.
Not the 1005?
Yeah, I thought it got the 1006.
Actually, it looks like it's out of stock right now. That's interesting.
It's still prime.
What is it?
It's a Wi-Fi thermostat.
Okay.
It's out of stock right now.
What brand?
It's a Honeywell.
And you can
how much?
You can control it from Wilmington?
No, I don't have the ability to do that.
Well, you could if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's true. I think it was $150, and it has Echo support, which is something you got to look at if you use either of the assistants, Google or Echo. Make sure you get one that's got your assistant support, and then it's also got a smartphone app.
And you installed it and everything?
Yep, installed it, and it's good to go.
All right. So there you go. Yeah, Tish says, "Good kid, Nick."
Yeah, I thought it was neat. I saw how much they've embraced or my mother specifically has embraced the smart lights I got them, and I thought I have to rip on her a little bit though. Like a week after we got it, we were coming home from something, and we were in the driveway, and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to turn the temperature up." I said, "Well, I mean, this kind of defeats the purpose. You're supposed to turn it up before you get home, not when you're sitting in the driveway." But
that's all right.
So,
all right. Let's switch something here. It's an interesting fact here. More than 3 years after its release, Windows 10 has passed Windows 7 in market share. That means more desktop computers are now running Microsoft's latest and greatest operating system than any other OS, according to Net Applications. The milestone is a nice way for Microsoft to end 2018, even though the company surely was hoping it wouldn't take this long for Windows 10 to overtake Windows 7. I guess that's because all the new computers have Windows 10 on them, and it's not because people decided, okay, I'm going to abandon 7. I mean, people do. I'm not saying they don't, but yep. So
I watch a lot of technology videos and whatnot online, have it be gaming or just regular technology, and they're definitely everybody's using Windows 10. Definitely the gaming enthusiasts. Everybody is
Mhm.
using 10. Windows 7 is just not a supported OS anymore. So you're definitely seeing a more of an upgrade from 7 to 10 than you saw from 7 to 8 or 8.1.
Right.
In my opinion.
So who's other than me? Who else uses Windows 7?
I've got about 3 computers on Windows 7. If they would come back and say, "Okay, we're gonna redo our free upgrade to Windows 10," I'd upgrade them. Until
No,
then,
they're
I'm
not
not
gonna
gonna spend the money.
No, they have no reason to do that. They did that
Well,
promotion for what, a year and a half?
I understand that, but the promotion was to upgrade to a flawed system.
It's
I would
still
disagree with
flawed.
that. Windows 10 hasn't changed that dramatically since they stopped doing
Oh, I
that program.
disagree.
Well, what's changed in it?
Oh my gosh, they've got 2 or 3 times a year, they completely replace the operating system. What do you mean it hasn't changed?
Okay, so they changed the look of it. The
No.
back end of Windows 10's I mean, I've had this system now since Windows 10 came out.
So the fact that they've made them not quite so obvious, jump in here, Gall, because I mean, some of these downloads are 1 gigabyte. Something's changing.
The fact that they're making changes doesn't mean that they're replacing the entire operating system. I
That's a
know.
little agreed. That's an exaggeration, but I'm saying at these gigantic, what do they call it? The October surprise or October update or something. Something's changing.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
they're
the
making
pro,
changes.
the programmers.
Most no, not that. Most of the changes that are being pushed in the big updates are what they call cumulative updates. Is just everything that they worked on plus a few extra features. And the extra features are there for sugarcoating the large downloads, usually, to somehow coax those who have some resistance to say, okay, I'll do the big upgrade even though I've already done all the upgrades up until now. So usually that just means from this point forward, everything that was included before, at least security wise, is going to be included in one package. And they can retire older, smaller updates in the Windows update system. You can still get them pinpointed if you know exactly the number that you're looking for. But it's just a way of packaging. It's not, they haven't made any major changes, any far-reaching changes since they issued.
Well, you guys say that, but I'm telling you, I know some things for example, the Nick will tell you that well, I guess you know that whenever Windows 10 first came out, the Delta 1010 LT sound card would not work. The drivers would not work. They would not even load.
Yeah. Well,
And that created a real serious problem in the audio community. And about 3 months later, all of a sudden say, "What are you talking about? I didn't have any problem." You go back in, try loading it again, and guess what? It loads okay.
so there were definitely bugs, right, that were fixed, but it's not like they changed the architecture completely or made huge changes in any support. When they do issue a very large update, it usually means there is some. I mean, everything is layered, right? So sometimes the lower layer is embedded within a lot of the components, and a lot of components needs to be replaced just to replace a single application call.
I get it.
So yeah, but
But my point is, Nick said, why would they want to redo the promotion? Because the more people they cannot, I don't care what they say, they cannot abandon Windows 7 until such time as it is a very low percentage of their user base, because they run the risk of having users jump ship and go with other things. And many of those, based on what I've read, many of those lingering users are enterprise users who are not willing to update 5,000 operating systems. They cannot, and I mean, a lot of libraries and governments have even switched over to Linux in their non-office intensive environments. If you go to the Wake County Public Library, go up to a terminal in the library to check out a book, you're going to check out with Linux.
that's true. But then again, one thing that Microsoft did get to, and that was surprising when the analysis was done is that the ROI on a Windows machine and on a Linux machine is pretty much the same. So even though Linux is free and the licensing free is free, getting proper support, right, isn't free. So either you hire very, very expensive technical people, right, or you rely on support contracts, which are pretty much in the same level as a Windows support contract. So Microsoft, when they issue an OS up until Windows 10, they just said we're going to support it for about 10 years. It usually lingers a bit longer than that, right? But at a certain point, they just mark the version, and they do it single-sidedly, not really consulting with the community of users. And they say this version is defunct. It's out of support. We're not going to develop any security patches for it anymore. And when that happens, the OS dies.
When is the end of life predicted for Windows 7?
I don't know. Maybe they have it publicly. I've never looked at it.
Well, they usually publish it.
There is one,
and
I think it's changed though. I think they've delayed it a couple of times.
And I'm telling you that if they were to get more people on Windows 10, it would save them money.
January 14, 2020. Microsoft will no longer provide security updates or support for PCs running Windows 7. That's very close, right? A year from now.
Yeah, but they said
I'm guessing it'll be pushed. I'm guessing it'll be pushed a bit. But yeah, and it sounds just about right on the timeline, and it'll happen. They'll stop it. They did it with when they stopped security update for XP. There were way too many XP machines alive, right? But this helps. This helped taking offline most of them.
I mean, we're just now crossing the threshold where Windows 10 is ahead of Windows 7, and they're going to stop supporting it in 12 months. Could be. I don't believe it.
It's again, it's like you said, it all depends what kind of percentage is still using 7. If 50% of the computers in the world are still using Windows 7, they're not going to stop.
Well, they should though. I mean,
because for one reason, because it gives them a bad name. If Windows 7 starts screwing up because they don't support it, then everybody say, "Oh, look at Windows." They don't think about the fact, okay, now Microsoft can't support 2 of them. It's hard. It's no. People are just saying, "Oh, Windows caused it." Okay.
So I'm not sure it's going to give them a bad name, and I'll explain why. We are in about August this year. I might have my timeline a bit skewed. So about August this year, TLS 1.0 became defunct completely. Like any enterprise, any system that is still supporting TLS 1.0 is basically non-compliant to basic industry standards.
Right.
So, and
explain to people that don't. TLS is
I'll explain for a sec. So TLS is the way is a method of encryption between two communication endpoints, right? If I open a browser and I browse to a server and I'm doing it over a secure channel with HTTPS, then there's some underlying protocol going on. It used to be SSL, then it became TLS. TLS 1.0 is, as of August, is dead.
It's gone, yeah.
It's gone. That means that a lot of servers will stop supporting that completely. Some of you who are not in the know-how will start seeing more and more messages telling you to upgrade your browser, telling you to upgrade your OS, telling you to do certain steps in order to make sure that you will still be able to connect to their servers, because they're going to take off TLS 1.0 soon, and they detect that you're using it right now. Microsoft has pushed a lot of updates where it provides proper support for TLS 1.2, which is a standard that is probably 5 to 8 years old already, and has not been adopted widespread enough. Just so people understand why it's important to ditch the old one. The old one is flawed in such a way that hackers can manipulate and can take advantage of to gain complete access to your system. So it's a bad idea using it. But only now it has become forced upon the industry, right? So, okay, so now I explained a lot of mumbo jumbo crap and stuff, but that drives a lot of that OS dependability, right? Windows 7 might be able to support TLS 1.2. Windows XP can't, and that's why you won't see online a Windows XP machine. And if you will see, it's probably a honeypot, right? To capture hackers or something like that. I think that will become the case with Windows 7 as well.
Well,
it won't be secure enough to run.
For what it's worth, I mean, I understand what you're talking about on TLS. That's an industry-wide decision. It was an early technology that is no longer useful because it's outdated and it's been superseded. I get all that. But Microsoft, Apple, anyone, Linux developers, they can all modify their systems to accommodate the changes that are necessary. If all I'm saying is that if Microsoft had wanted or had any incentive to update XP to accommodate TLS 1.2, they could have done that. They have the ability to do that, but it's not in their best interest or economic interest to do that. But here's my point. Here's my point. This whole operating system thing there's a whole lot of marketing and a lot less technology than a lot of people think. I've mentioned here before, if you look over my shoulder, you'll see, I don't know if you can see it, there's a laptop computer behind. See that computer right there over this shoulder right there? All right. That computer has XP on it. It's an old laptop that I'm just using as a dubbing station to transfer audio to the hard drive.
Right.
And as a result of it being there, I have had to use XP again so far, but for applications that are no longer supported on XP, I haven't found anything that XP doesn't do that Windows 7 and Windows 10 do.
No, XP was a fantastic OS. I mean,
it was mature. It worked. I understand limitations. I understand Microsoft marketing to update and to go into something shiny and new. I get that. I'm not faulting that. But I am saying that Microsoft saying that, oh, we had to update this operating system because it was no longer viable. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. They just made a marketing decision to do it.
I mean, the laptop that I do when you listen to just audio of the show is an XP running.
Yeah, but that's on the internet, isn't it?
Yeah.
To me, that's crazy.
Well, nothing happened.
I know, it's just like life insurance. You
yeah,
don't collect on it
I know.
and
what? And if they got into it, what is there to do?
Depends on how well they can navigate your network.
Exactly, they have access to your network. That's the problem. That's why you're like you have. I'll use the wall, right? You have a fantastic wall built around your home, right? But here you have like a flimsy cardboard portal.
Yeah.
Right. So
well, there's not much to it.
I had an XP computer hacked during the transition. These guys, thankfully they were just using it to send out spam, and I caught it within like an hour after it happened. But it took a while to clean that thing up, and I mean, I wouldn't have an XP computer on the internet, not because XP is a bad operating system, but because it's no longer supported and it does not have the modifications and changes necessary to make it compatible with current challenges on the internet.
It doesn't have the right fortifications. That's clear, yeah.
But for XP was eventually became an excellent operating system, and people wanted shiny new objects, and Microsoft gave it to them. To this day, and again now, when I'm talking about no changes, You can always anecdotally find someone who says, "Oh, with Windows 10, he was finally able to install an app that allowed him to see who was going in and out of his vault." And I mean, there are always these anecdotal things with any operating system that may be okay. But I'm just telling you that the computer that I'm using right now to do this show is a Windows 7 computer. I also have sitting right beside it an SSD that has Windows 10 on it. At any point that I need to flip it over, all I've got to do is put in that hard drive. I update it probably 4 or 5 times a year to make sure I get all the updates. And all I have to do is move it over and then make sure I grab all of the programs and things to add back in, which I don't do because I just don't see any reason right now to move over to Windows 10. I'm sitting here right now looking at 2 computers that have Windows 10 on them. I turn them on probably once every 2 weeks. My everyday working computers, Windows 10 at my office.
But you just answered your own question.
What?
You said, I don't have any reason to upgrade to Windows 10.
Correct.
So but you want them to do a free upgrade for what reason?
No. Listen to me carefully. I am saying that if they were to do the promotion again, that they would see a major migration to Windows 10, which is what they wanted when they did the migration in the first place.
I don't know.
I am saying that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 computers that I can't do the Windows 10. One of them I didn't own at the time they did the promotion. And that one, if they were to do the promotion, I would update that one and never look back because I don't have a lot of apps and things installed on it. It would be a fairly trivial matter to upgrade that computer to Windows 10. And what I'm saying is, I don't have any objections to Windows 10. I don't dislike it. I'm not saying that it shouldn't happen. I'm just saying that it was an unnecessary change.
Yeah, I don't foresee them doing another update.
Oh, I don't either.
There's just no reason to.
But from a business perspective, they've said that they were going to get out of the business of charging for operating system upgrades.
They have. Absolutely.
Well, then why don't they give a free upgrade to Windows 10? That's a free upgrade.
They did a free upgrade for a year and a half, and now everybody's bought it. And then now they're going to offer a free upgrade again for all the people that didn't want to? I mean, that doesn't seem like a very good program. I'd be pissed if I bought Windows 10 3 months ago.
They don't care about their customers.
I mean, if I bought Windows 10 for $100 3 months ago, and then they decide they're going to do another free upgrade for everybody else that didn't feel like updating before, I'd be freaking pissed.
Well, they don't
care. Do you think they care?
I absolutely, I think they care. They would. That's probably the only reason they haven't done it.
If they care, they wouldn't be announcing a 2020 termination date for Windows 7 because they now have about an equal base for Windows 7 and Windows 10. So they're telling half of their primary base that we're going to pull the plug on your product on 2020.
They've told half their base now for Windows 10's been out since 2015, and they've told half their base, get a new damn operating system or stop or move on. I mean, I don't understand it. If obviously they're like Mike, there are mission critical things that will not work on Windows 10. You don't update. But for the regular, for example, when I was up in New York for Christmas, my grandmother said, "Well, I'm finally ready to update to Windows 10 on my laptop." I said, "You're shit out of luck. This computer, you can't update anymore. You twiddled your thumbs about updating. I said, you can go ahead and buy it."
That's not not precise. Check the link that I sent. That's from Microsoft. There
are still ways to get the update, but
yeah. And they're actually very relevant for your grandma because it is based on assistive technologies. So just switch on one of the assistive technologies and
you don't have to use it.
You like high contrast or something, right? And you're qualifying. So
I tried it. It didn't work.
There is another major issue, and that is whether you're going to find the drivers you need to work on older hardware.
Well, yeah, but those are the mission critical applications that no matter what they do, Windows 10 is not going to be for you.
Right. Yeah.
They're always going to be those cases, but I don't know for 98% of users, I don't understand what could possibly be wrong with Windows 10. I just think there are very far and few little cases in which
when you can't boot it.
Again, far and few in between them.
All right, let me ask you this question, Gall, because I think I saw this some time ago, and if this is the way it's portrayed, then this is a good thing, and it will certainly help to gravitate more people towards Windows 10. Having said that, I bought this computer I've talked about before that I bought for $90. That was an Intrex built computer, Windows i7, 16 gig of memory, had Windows 10, Windows 7 Professional on it because the discs were in the box. I installed Windows 10 and entered the Windows 7 key, and it said, nope, not valid. I then went in and used that same disk to install Windows 7, entered the key, and it worked. So what did I do wrong?
I'm
It's an
checking.
upgrade.
I'm reading. No,
I
you
don't think-
first of all, you're right because you might be right because the article that I sent is from 2017. So I'm checking if there's anything fresh
This
or
article
newer.
says last updated 2019.
Well,
How-
I see the last update there from 2017. So I don't think. Let's see.
I mean, if this article is not still valid, they should take it down. But it says last updated January 5th, 2019. Now, what does that mean? They modified it, or that's just who knows
They added,
what?
they added a comma.
Probably. But then again, if the article's not valid, they should take it down.
I have to say something, guys. I was offline because my camera crashed for some reason. I don't know why, but I was dying here because I wanted to say my comment about Windows XP, and I did put something up in the chat. I remember fondly Windows XP too, but the thing that I think the major reason why I'm so glad it's gone is because of security. That was a
Yeah.
patched together, hobbled together from the original development of Windows. They still had stuff laying around in that software that made it incredibly vulnerable. And it was great because Microsoft just kept saying, "We'll just keep moving this forward, just keep moving this forward," until the point where they realized that they could not patch the stuff they needed to patch in there without a complete rewrite of the software.
And the rest of the world got the idea that Windows is very vulnerable. Windows, not XP, but Microsoft Windows.
But how much
they-
effect? But how much effect has that had?
Well, they solved the problem by releasing Vista.
Yeah, that fixed it. Well, NT was supposed to be the next logical step forward, where they had
Well,
a
it was.
rewrite of the kernel and all that stuff that was supposed to patch all these onboard. They had things that were left wide open to make it easy for their developers, wide open into the kernel. It was ridiculous. So they took them a while. It wasn't really until Windows 7 that they could start to fix it in Windows 8. I still don't know if you could say it's truly patched, but it is completely new, which is one way of providing security is by making it so ununderstandable that nobody can figure out what to do with it.
I don't object to them retiring XP. I get it, and the points you make are probably the best ones for doing so, because it just had finally become a patchwork, and they said the time we could go back and get rid of this mishmash, we could create something new and better. But I would say that, but Nick said you had a year and a half to do it. You missed it. Tough. But the question is, what about the computers that I go and grab that I forgot I had that have Windows 7? I didn't think to upgrade them. Oh yeah, so I missed it. I mean, that's punitive in many ways, and that's not the way you treat your customer base. What about a computer I didn't own at the time, or that the previous owner had upgraded to Windows 10 on that computer, and they kept the hard drive because they wanted to make sure that they didn't lose any files and sold it dirt cheap, which is this one example of a computer that I bought. How did that 1.5-year option to upgrade, how did that motivate me to move to Windows 10? What that all means is that I have to stand back and look at it from a dollars and cents perspective. If I want to go out and spend 100, 120, whatever it is, to upgrade this Windows 7 computer to Windows 10, what am I going to get for my money? And right now, the answer, at least in the way I use a computer, is nothing.
I would agree. I know the computer that you're talking about. I don't see there isn't a big reason for you to go out and spend 120. I think it would be a
telling
waste.
you that if they did the free update thing again, I'm not saying they should, and I don't think they will either. I'm just saying from a purely operational perspective, beneficial to Microsoft, because they're not going to get $100 from me for it. But what could they get? If they did it for free, they could get I would absolutely upgrade that machine to Windows 10 and erase the Windows 7 hard drive because I would like it. It's a good machine. It's going to live past 2020. And if they think they're going to force me to upgrade, they're probably not. I mean, right now, the machine, my son took the hard drive out of it, put a new SSD in it, and loaded Linux on it, and he's rocking and rolling with it. But it's only temporary. He's just using it to play with it. The installation of Windows 7 is still intact on the hard drive. But that could become a Windows 10 computer. And all I am saying, and my only point is that at some point, the fewer people Windows 7 users Microsoft has to support, the sooner they can get over to the new operating system without having people gripe.
Well, I'm hearing you, Mike, but I have the feeling that no matter what they do, there will be the people that gripe. Doesn't matter how often they offer a free upgrade or whatever they do.
It'll be a smaller number.
I don't disagree. I just.
All right, Spence, are you ready for the special?
Oh, give me a minute. Sorry, I'm still reopening all the stuff I had on my desktop.
Okay.
Here.
And Mike, it seems like Microsoft still has something called the Insider Program, and through it you can upgrade for free. I pasted the link there. That's a very updated article, and it goes through the steps that you need to do in order to upgrade an existing system.
Cool.
Your Microsoft account will need to be signed up for the Insider Program, and then you can get a free upgrade.
I don't know what is the Insider Program?
Basically,
that's
it's
when you test. That's when you test
early release software.
Early release, yeah.
It's to let you go out and test beta versions, and they want your feedback, and you have to be willing to take the pain of that, though.
Yeah.
Who in the hell wants to do that?
Well, the main reason I'm mentioning it here is because I'd really like your insight on what you are signing up for when you're clicking I accept, because your eye is a lot better in finding out the
I hate
little.
to disappoint you, but if you think I'm going to read Microsoft's crap, you're going to be disappointed. All I can tell you is that if I were to do it, it would be with a throwaway Microsoft Outlook account.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, that I'm sure about that. I wouldn't do anything else either. But
and this is interesting. I'm looking at this article. It has a link here, and I'm glad you posted this. It says there has a link here to the Windows 10 Upgrade Assistant.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about this because, and I hadn't thought to ask about it. I'm curious because my Windows 10 computer has an icon on the desktop called Windows 10 Upgrade Assistant. Why does my Windows 10 computer need an Upgrade Assistant icon on the desktop?
Was your computer upgraded? Or was it Windows 10 from start?
Upgraded.
That's why it's still there. It's just left over.
It just never got deleted.
Yeah, because when I say upgraded, let me make sure, because I've got so many computers. There was one computer that I don't remember if I lost the hard drive or what, but Spencer, somebody had said here at some point, all you need to do, if Windows 10 was ever installed on that computer, all you need to do is install it again. It will read all of the digital signatures on the hardware. It will recognize that hardware has already been authorized for Windows 10, and it will automatically activate. I don't remember who said it, but it was somebody on this show.
Yeah, well,
and it did it on that next computer that I did it. But then I did it on a subsequent computer, and it did not, which would suggest that that particular computer may not have ever had Windows 10 on it. And that's all very possible. I don't know that. It could also mean that the digital signature on the hard drive was enough or whatever was enough to make it think that it had never been on there.
Well, that might be. Look at the article somewhere in the middle. It says after you upgrade from an activated Windows 7 or 8, it will be activated for free, the Windows 10. So you don't need a product key. And it also said if you log in with a Microsoft account, this PC will be marked as Windows 10 totally free by Microsoft. So that means that the next time if you format and install again using that same login, it'll activate the Windows 10 for you. Right. So it also has to do probably with tying in those digital fingerprints with your account.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's it checks something like 5 fingerprints, and if 4
Yeah.
of them are the same, it'll validate.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there was an allowance for some changes. All right.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
So I want you all to pay attention to this what is it? An employment opportunity for programmers on the first page of the specials there. You could make up to 2,000 pounds per annum per year working as a programmer for this computer aid outfit in oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry, this is from the 1970s. Sorry. So you could be a programmer and you're going to have people just hanging on you like the picture there. Isn't that something?
Is the advertisement for the guy or for the girl?
I don't know. It could be whatever you want it to be.
That's how programmers work on the table, laying down.
That's it. That's it. That's it. And that computer on the right, that's
man.
Amnon's
Trouble.
first computer. The Donner 3500. That was his first one. Whoever, I don't remember that name. I never heard this before. It was an analog computer, to be fair. It wasn't digital. So it's an oldie.
Smallest analog computer ever made.
All right.
It's a laptop. Okay.
Yeah, this is sitting on his lap. That's exactly right. Okay, Computers 2K Now special for January 6th, 2019. We actually made it. How do you like that? Starting with laptops, we have at Best Buy HP 14-inch Core i3, 8 gig of memory, 1 terabyte hard drive for $359, which is $70 off. Office Depot has an HP 17-inch Intel Core i3 for $399 for $200 off. If you're looking for a large screen and you can get by with an i3, this is a good deal. Go to even at Costco, you look and see the prices of laptops now, and they're just they're up there. And Staples has a Pavilion, HP Pavilion 15.6-inch Core i7 for $629, which is $200 off. We have at Best Buy a Lenovo 21.5-inch touchscreen all-in-one Intel Pentium Quad for $479, which is $50 off. Office Depot has an AMD Ryzen 3 Lenovo Idea Center 23.8-inch all-in-one desktop for $479, which is $170 off. And Staples has a Dell Core i5 desktop for $479, which is $150 off. Tablets. Best Buy has Digiland 10.1-inch tablet, 32 gig for $79. That's $30 off. At that price, it's use once and throw away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Hyundai makes tablets? I didn't know this.
On wheels?
Yeah, it must be like leftover screens that they didn't put in their high-end cars, something like that.
No, they're a huge electronics.
Oh, they're a huge electronics manufacturer.
Yeah.
I'm being facetious. I remember my one trip to Korea, where in Seoul, the Hyundai advertisements were Hyundai. It's huge. It's huge. But Hyundai Coral 10X quad core Android tablet for $101.99. If you notice that the little logo there has a different color on the outside band, which means it's not part of the normal weekly ad. The same is true for the Staples Samsung Galaxy Tab 9.7-inch tablet for $319 at Staples, normally $399. Okay, networking. Best Buy has the Linksys Velop tri-band mesh Wi-Fi system. This is the 3-pack, so you've got 1 base station and 2 satellites. $399.99, $80 off. This stuff is expensive, but if you have a problem to solve, it does work very well. Office Depot, again, this is not a normal sale ad, has the Ubiquiti Amplify home Wi-Fi mesh system. Now, what this has that makes it interesting is it's got a little touch screen on the base station that lets you look at statistics, helps you place the satellites out there. and gives you a snapshot of what's happening on the network. And they claim it's good for up to 20,000 square feet, depending on the type of space. But Ubiquiti is a great manufacturer of Wi-Fi networking products. Staples has a Netgear AC 1750. This would be considered an entry-level AC now. You can get up into the 3,000 range, I think, on AC now, as far as throughput goes. But this is $109.99, which is $20 off the regular price. Storage, got a couple good deals on some solid state drives. Got a 512 gig SanDisk at Best Buy for $84.99. It's $115 off the regular price. Office Depot has a 3-pack of 16 gig USB 2.0 flash drives for $12.99. That's $22 off. And Staples has a HP solid state 500 gig drive for $89.99. Save $30. What anybody use one of the HP solid state drives? Are they obviously made for them by somebody else, I would guess, right? They're not manufacturing drives. No. Well, I don't know who makes them for them, and I don't know what the performance statistics are. So make sure you do your research first. Accessories. Now, this isn't really what I would call a computer accessory. Nevertheless, it is a good deal. Dynex USB wall outlet 2-pack. It's got it preserves the typical duplex AC outlet, but gives you also 2 USB charger ports for $19. The cheapest the only place I've ever seen it this cheap was at Costco for a pack of 2. I saved $10. Office Depot has a Logitech MK335 wireless keyboard and mouse combo half price at $19.99. And they also have the multi-device keyboard at Staples Logitech. This is the one that lets you switch with the 3 buttons it has here, switch between 3 different devices. It supports Windows, it supports Mac, it supports Android, and it supports iPhone or iOS devices. So very easy to switch between them. Notice it does not come with a mouse. There is a cheaper version of this I'll mention in a minute, but this is more of the high-end version, the K780. It's $69.99, $10 off. Monitors. We have at Best Buy, Acer 23-inch monitor for $99.99, $60 off. Office Depot has the LG ultra-wide 29-inch monitor for $199, which is $100 off. And Staples has an HP 24-inch monitor with speakers for $129.99, which is $20 off. This is probably the deal of the day on inkjet printers. Best Buy has a Canon Pixma TS9120 all-in-one printer for $69.99, so $130 off the regular price. Office Depot has a Brother monochrome laser all-in-one printer for $139.99, save $60. It's still, in my opinion, one of the most functional lasers you can get because it is also a fax machine. It gives you that multi-sheet feeder, which makes scanning really, really easy. And also takes the high yield toner cartridges. Staples has Epson Expression Premium XP6000 color all-in-one printer for $69.99, which is $80 off the regular price. Home automation at Best Buy. We've got the Philips Hue starter kit for this is the multicolored programmable lighting for the home. If you want to get started in this, $119.99, which is $70 off the regular price. If you want to dabble, play around with this, you do get the controller, and then you can add other devices to the system as you expand it. But a great way to get started. The prices are coming down. Office Depot has a Ring wired 1080 indoor-outdoor stick-up cam for $179.99. I tell you, I don't have a Ring device. I know people that do. But they really have a great system. It is expensive, but they have been adding new features to it, more hardware support for different types of devices. What most impressed me recently was they were doing this whole new neighborhood watch program where you could actually monitor and be available to take action if somebody isn't home and you are home in your neighborhood, or you can help a neighbor monitor their property while they're away. There's all kinds of interesting things they're doing from a software perspective too. But this is a new 1080 indoor-outdoor stick-up cam from Ring. And finally, Staples has for $82.39. I just happen to like this because of the not only the price, but because it has the talk back and it's very quiet. It's a baby monitor. It can be used for a lot of different things. It just doesn't have to be stuck on the baby per se, but it's an easy way to move something around your house that you want to monitor on an informal basis. You just plug the thing in and it goes. And you can move both the monitoring station and the camera around however you would like. So for $82.39, Lavana Leela digital baby video monitor with night vision and talk to baby intercom. Could be used for your goldfish, right, Amnon?
Sure.
You could talk to your goldfish. You have to put the camera in the water so the goldfish can hear you talk, but that might be a problem. And we got our overflow page here. I mentioned there was a more inexpensive version of the universal keyboard from Logitech, and here is the K375S. It does have the 3-button feature on it, and it does have a stand for a smart device. But this is $29.99, $20 off the regular price. There was some complaints in the ratings about the feel of the keyboard, that some people felt that it was not. They would like to have a more expensive keyboard because of the actual click feel, and that's entirely possible. It all depends on what your preferences are. So be aware of that.
How is the keyboard connecting to the mobile device?
It's 2.4 gigahertz. Now I don't know how they do that for iOS devices unless they go through Wi-Fi. But it's not Bluetooth. So I was interested in that, how that worked. Staples has also a Google Home Hub smart controller, $99, is $50 off. They do have it in different colors. So if you're looking to put it in your home and you have a fashion conscious or decorator conscious person around, you might want to consult them as to what are the 3 different colors you'd like to get.
Does it come in flowery color?
It comes in whatever color you want, and you go down to Home Depot and you buy a can of spray paint. You just make sure you tape off the front so you don't spray over the top of the screen. I'll do that for you. I should start a service, a custom coloring for your Google Home Hub.
Oh, it's Bluetooth.
Is it Bluetooth?
Yeah, so I'm on the Logitech page.
But where did I read
to a computer with a tiny unifying receiver? So it's Bluetooth and the unifying receiver.
Oh, so it's both. Okay,
both.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, I suspected that it was that, but I couldn't the description I read. I think it was on the Staples site. Did not mention Bluetooth. It said 2.4 gigahertz.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy one.
It's pretty cool. I mean, they had their first generation of this. The first one they had was a small keyboard with a little dial that you turn to switch between 3 devices.
Yeah.
And that was definitely Bluetooth. And it had a little slot in the front of the keyboard that you could drop your phone or your tablet into, like a stand. And it was great for mobile users. This would be more of a desktop device. So yeah, the initial versions of this, when they first came out about a year ago, were not well received. They said the software wasn't all that great, but they fixed it.
Thanks.
Okay. Office Depot has the Epson ES400 scanner, $279. This is the kind that you would use for multiple duplex scanning of color sheets, typically used for digitizing documents, like say at an attorney or an accountant or something like that. This is a high-end device, but it is good price, $279, $70 off the regular price. Again, Fujiscan is probably the premier one there that started started this particular technology out there, and it's still the premium one in most people's opinion. Best Buy has a SanDisk 32 gig USB 3.0 combination Lightning and USB flash drive. So if you want to back up, for example, or move files to your iOS device, this is what you'd want to get. Prices of these have come way down. This is $29.99, half price, save $30. They also have a Western Digital 4 terabyte personal cloud device. I have the 2 terabyte version, an older one of these, still working. Does a good job, does automatic backups from just about every device I could want to connect to it. I haven't run out of space yet because I don't actually do images on this. I just back up data. $179.99, save 20. And a APC 900 VA battery backup for $99 at Office Depot, save 10. And I did have a chance to get to Fry's. There were some promo code deals that were out there that's worth mentioning. A Dell 15.6-inch touchscreen for $347, and a D-Link AC1750 dual band gigabit router for $69.99. And so you have to sign up to get your instant codes, but if you go to the Fry's website, it'll walk you through that to get the promotion codes. Okay, Nick, this is for you. Here we have a whole bunch of different hard drives.
Oh, great.
To pick from here. Sizes, mainstream, NAS, and what's the Toshiba on the end there? High performance hard drive, whatever that means.
I don't even want to try to understand what that might possibly mean.
Yeah, but good prices here. I mean, look at this. Look at these prices. And this
is all at Fry's.
Are they what?
These are all at Fry's.
Fry's, yeah. Yeah, I just took the whole line of the ad there because it looked like it was good. 500 gig. This looks like a 2.5-inch drive from what I could see. It does not look like a desktop. Well, no desktop drive. So $29.99, which is $15 off. 1 terabyte mainstream Western Digital for $39.99, which is 10 off. A 4 terabyte Western Digital for $89, which is 20 off. And also a 4 terabyte network NAS drive from Western Digital for $109.99, save $20. This little device you see here for $2.49 is a wonderful thing to have if you have surge protectors or battery backup devices and you have a lot of odd-shaped transformers that you want to plug into it. That's usually the problem you run into with power strips, is that you can't plug in all of your transformers because they're odd shapes. Some of them are very nice now. They're kind of made sideways with the newer technology makes them smaller and they don't take up as much space. But if the manufacturer doesn't make that sideways facing single width plug or a format, you're stuck. So you can buy a bunch of these. These are great. Every Christmas I set up in the house. I still use my X10 stuff to control lighting in the house, but I usually have a very weird collection of stuff that sits at a central points in the living room where I have all those controllers that I couldn't plug them all into a power strip because they're too big, and the devices you're supporting plug into the front of these switches and dimmers, and you just can't get that. But with this, you can fill that whole strip up.
But go ahead and shop, because you can buy on eBay or on Amazon like a dozen of them for about $8.
Yeah. So I saw this and I thought I would mention it. It was a good place to talk about.
Just look for Power Pigtails.
Yep.
Let me butt in here for a sec, just so, as an outsider coming from out of the US, this has never been an issue. This is like something specific to US design of power strips. And it always mind blows me, because in Europe, the socket, it's a bit larger, not by much. And the solution is so simple. All they do is, instead of it's usually a round socket with 3 prongs, very similar to the design of the US one. Is just instead of 2 slots, it's a round prong.
Isn't that the French version?
The French is the same as
Mediterranean version.
Well, yeah, Mediterranean probably all the same. So The solution there is so simple. The strips, they come just with the sockets. They're just 45 degrees tilted. Actually, I think maybe it's less than 45, probably 30 degrees tilted. And that creates enough space for anything that comes out of it to not bangle against the other. Now, the socket is wide enough that usually most
Bricks.
power bricks, they're not wider than the socket, right? Something that only in recent years of miniaturization and stuff here in the US starts to make sense. So this is like every time I see it,
It's
I
insane.
wish I had my old power strips. It's just something so simple, and here always fight it. But yeah, I get the need for this little.
And here, if you
board.
want to buy a power strip that's formatted like you talk about, you pay a fortune for them.
Yeah, they
yeah.
are
And
some.
to have them spread out like that, and it takes up a huge amount of real estate.
I actually bought one. I think it was like I bought it on sale. It's a very long, round power strip, which is also a surge protector. But all of its sockets, they can shift. So it's
You
like
make your own arrangement.
yeah, you can create your own arrangement, and they don't. So if two sockets can't sit next to one to another, you just twist them, right? And it's because the construction itself allows it. But yeah, it buying it full price, it's really really expensive.
The other thing to mention about this particular type of power cord is it comes in two versions. This shows the one that I recommend is with the 90-degree turn and the molded plug. But what you don't see in this picture is the top of the molded plug is also a pass-through
Oh,
outlet receptacle.
Oh.
So you can plug another cord in on the top of this.
that starts making the $3 charge.
Yeah,
So
now-
that's what makes this so valuable.
Yeah.
But they do
You're-
make the kind that are just a molded plug with a cord on it that goes to the extension, and that's it.
Right. So this
this-
is doubling
this is-
the value. Yeah.
Yes.
This is
So
fantastic.
it really works great. Okay. Asus 16X internal Blu-ray player for $129. I don't know if that's a good price. It catches my eye. It seems like a good price. And when the first Blu-rays first came out, internals like this, they were well over $200. 32 gig swing USB 3.0 flash drive with USB-C type adapter. This is the first time I've seen one like this. Well, actually, it's just an adapter. It's not a big. It's just a plug-in adapter. But for $10.99, if you need a USB-C adapter, you'd probably go out and buy one. It costs you $5 to buy it anyway. So
It's
it's
a swing.
pretty. Yeah, it swings. Yeah, it's a swinger. Okay, we've got a couple of good deals here on battery backups. A 650 VA from CyberPower for $49. A 650 VA for APC for $59, and a 900 VA from APC for $82. That's a good one that's a good price for a 92.
So battery backup, that's basically a UPS.
UPS, yeah. So not all the receptacles are battery backup, but they're all surge.
Hmm.
So you have to take that into account.
Yeah.
But a good deal. And I wouldn't normally mention this keyboard except to say that this is a wired device, but it is from a very good manufacturer. It's from Mac Ally, and they specialize, of course, in Mac products. But this one is a full-size keyboard that will work for both Mac and PC, and it's only $18 after saving $6.99. And finally, this is for you, Amnon, for your next camping trip out in the yard. Inflatable solar air lantern and 3-person tent. So it's only $8 for the lantern and only $18 for the tent.
Air lantern.
Air
Runs-
lantern.
runs on air.
I don't know.
Runs
I don't
on
know what
air.
they mean by air, unless it's just because it's filled with air. I guess that could be portable and water. Actually, this would be good for your fish
fish.
pond. Yeah. let it float around on the fish pond there. If they imply that it's solar charging. I don't see a solar charger built into this thing anywhere. But it's interesting.
Yeah.
So, and that's it for Computers 2K Now specials for January 6th.
What about the tent?
Oh, I mentioned the tent.
Oh.
I said, yeah, that was
Okay.
a tent was only $18. And when they say 3 persons, that's like 3 people that are the width of a 2x4
That know each
laying
other.
next to each other
That know each
with
other
no
very
equipment,
well.
no sleeping bag. But when you put 2 real people in there, I think you take up the full space of the tent. Lightweight and easy to set up. So
Yeah, this is like in the fair.
How easy it is to pack it back in.
oh, they're really easy. They cut the poles are flexible fiberglass, and they're bungee corded together so that you can't mess them up. And you just slide it. You basically lay this thing on the ground. You just slide the poles through the openings in the nylon flat, and then you just stick the corners in, and it just pops up.
That's setting it up.
Oh, taking it apart. It's just it'll stuff into a bag easily. You just lay it flat on the ground, get all the air out of it, and you fold it a couple of times, roll it up, and you're done.
Yeah,
I have several of these.
I'm always weary about the easy setup is easy setting up, but taking it back in, it's more complex.
Oh, try to get it back in the original box. Yeah, I used to have canvas tents. Still have one in the attic. I don't know why I keep it, but that is unbelievable to try to get it into a small place again.
All right, I've got a topic here.
Let me just let people know that they can call in at 919-518-9773 or Computers 2K Voice on Skype. Go, Nick.
And I don't know if this isn't really a topic. I'm looking for help, I guess. So this TV I've got behind me is a 32-inch 720p Vizio. It's 10 years old. It was purchased in 2009, and I'm finally ready to upgrade to a new TV. The problem I'm running into looking at these TVs is I can't decipher if a well-built flat screen TVs like this were very expensive in 2009. I can't tell if a well-built TV like this Vizio from 2009 is a lot worse than a cheaper, either newer Vizio or TLC or some of the lower end. I don't watch a whole lot of TV, so I'm not spending $400 or $500 on a TV. It's just not necessary. On one of these kind of lower end Insignia TVs, and the information I found online is inconclusive. And I guess I'm looking at Gal specifically. He's kind of the media guy here. What's the deal here, Gal?
The cheaper the better.
Yep.
Really.
So you think this 10-year-old TV, anything I get new, even the cheapest new thing is going to blow this thing out of the water?
Oh, you're in luck anyway, Nick, because the company's going to send out a notice telling you that TV is going to stop working next year anyway.
That's it.
Well, fortunately, I can just go out and buy a new one. Should I contact Vizio and see if they'll give me another one for free?
Sure, absolutely. They gave everybody else one for free. Why didn't they give you one?
So yeah, I was at Sam's Club the other day, and I was looking through their TV aisle, and they've got a 40. The one I looked at is a 40-inch Vizio Smart TV, and it's $220.
I have that one. I have the 40-inch. I'm not sure if it's the same model, but I have the 40-inch Vizio.
D400F. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, that's probably the one I have. It's very, very widely produced, and it's been great. I've had it a year. And I just added a sound bar to it.
Does it have? It doesn't look like it has composite input. Is that the case?
It does. It has composite in. Because I had a Wii hooked up to it.
Oh, so it looks like the component jack duals as a composite. The green from the component must be also.
I think it's a dual. But I used it.
Okay.
Has 2 HDMI.
Yep, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I had to put a switch on it.
I've got a switch on mine now because I only have
Nick,
2 at my current.
You suddenly got real hot. What happened?
What?
You suddenly got real loud.
Your audio, something went real funky on your audio.
It should be better now.
Okay, yeah.
It is.
The NSA was tuning their connection.
No, it's just freaking AGC on this computer. So okay, so I guess I need to upgrade. It's time.
Go look at Costco because you
I don't
get
have a Costco membership.
That's not a problem. We can help with that.
So
Yeah, but I'm
What's
just
their
so Sam's
Costco's
Costco.
Does Sam's Club have the same concierge service that Costco has for appliances?
I don't think so.
The warranty?
That's worth it because it expanded my warranty to 4 years on the television.
Doubles the warranty.
And you call them for support. You don't call the manufacturer, and they have great support.
Mike, what did you say?
I said Sam's Club, to my knowledge, does not offer the compatible or competitive concierge service. I mean, Costco's disgusting, but for I buy all my TVs there.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Then
So I guess
you can get it when you come up here.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
It's
All
worth it.
you need is a $20 gift card from Costco, and we can ship that to you. So that doesn't really matter.
What would a $20 gift card do?
Give him the entry to Costco and the ability to buy. He can pay the rest with either a Visa credit card or.
Oh,
cash.
actually, that's why I can't shop at Costco. I forgot. I don't have a Visa card.
They take cash.
Yeah, they
so
cash.
probably solve it. Okay, so there is. You don't think there's a concern going from this 720p 10-year-old TV to one of these newer ones with
No.
input lag and anything like that?
No. I have one of the in our bedroom. We have what's it called? I think it's called Integral. Some sticker brand. I have no idea what. And we bought it for like $100 and something, and it's doing its job. It just shows the picture, right? What are your concerns?
I mean, I play a lot of composite standard definition video games on it, so that would be something that
it works fine. But mine did.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stretch. It gives you options to not have to stretch the video out and make it look stupid and whatnot.
Yeah, that's pretty basic in all of them.
I would think so.
Yeah.
So Nick, if you buy it from Costco, you have a 90-day no questions asked return policy.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if they've got this same TV at Costco.
Well, if it's not the same, you can. It doesn't matter really, Nick.
Yeah, and don't forget that whatever you see in the warehouse is not necessarily advertised in Costco.com. So
does Costco sell Vizio?
yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. I searched Vizio on their website.
Nick, you need to get the 65-inch
TV. 85.
Yeah. I mean, I think even the 40 is going to be too big for this little TV stand I have behind me. So I'll start with a 40.
You're going to have to get a bigger apartment. So
yeah. I didn't. The TV behind me is a 32-inch, which is a little hard to see from across the room.
Do you have a?
Sit closer.
That's what I do. You see this little. You see, I have a chair over here. I pull it right up to the TV and
bought a 49-inch for the mom cave.
Yeah.
But you know what else got me on that one? It's sitting on a table. So in addition to buying the TV, I also had to buy an aftermarket stand so it would stand on the table, because they've now gone to these ultra cheap legs on them that go to the edge of the TV. They were too wide for the table.
That's part of the design now, because the picture has built-in motion to make it look more realistic. So the TV has to move.
Oh, okay.
It has to sway back and forth in order to give you that look that you're really on in the scene.
Well, that's inconsistent though, because those feet on each end keep it from swaying. The center post stand will allow it to rock back and forth.
I guess I need to take some measurements then to make sure it will fit.
But you can get one of those after. I mean, it was like $39 or something, but you have to figure that in the cost as well.
And what does it do? Hook up to the middle of the TV?
Yeah, it hooks up to the Visa mount.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
I've
it
seen
comes
those.
down
Yeah.
to stand.
Yeah, it's got a bracket that comes up off the back, and
And the bracket is sturdier than the one that would come on the TV anyway. So there's some benefit to it, but it would be nice not having to buy that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Nick, you need to get like a professional swing arm off the wall so you can turn it
Yeah.
every angle up
Well,
and down. And
I mean, I'd have to mount it to the stairs. I don't know how well that would work.
Okay, it works great.
we could bolt
Well-
something through the balusters on the stair there. No problem.
I got a swaying hand for an 18-pound TV. So if it's not more than 18 pounds, you can get it. It's supposed to be for smaller screens, but all the screens were heavier, so maybe
But
it
I
doesn't
know.
work.
This a 40 or 45-inch TV. This 32-inch TV is heavy, man. It's got a nice thick bezel all the way around it.
You're going to find.
But I do like how it's got the speakers in the front, which is something that TVs do not have anymore. So I may have to
Vizio
invest.
that you're looking at has speakers out the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Spence,
Yes, sir.
remember that wall mount arm that you left here that you were going to
Yeah.
throw? I mean, that's really heavy, but would that work for a
That's
TV?
a Visa 100 though. You got to make sure it fits.
Oh.
There's the bigger ones. You might have to make some brackets or something to get it to work.
Yeah, you can sit on it, Nick.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
out of stock
that's what's
locally.
That's
Oh, damn.
Nick, John, we missed over one of John's
Oh, I'm
comments.
sorry.
You can get a free 1-day pass at Costco.
Oh, okay.
they're smart the
Interesting.
way that they do it. Yeah.
Do they check a card on entry or only when you
They do.
purchase?
On entry.
I wonder how
They
that's
used
going to
not to. You walk in, and I was used to Sam's Club. You walk in, I'd show them my Costco card, and they just nod their head, do it, and say anything. Like,
Yeah.
we don't check that. But now, lately, when you walk in, they check it. If you walk in like you know what you're doing, they won't stop you.
Then maybe that's what I need to do.
Well, you got to have it for checkout, but you can
Yeah,
get
that's
it.
what I'm saying. I get the 1-day pass once I get in there.
Well, I'd look up and find out how you get it. I don't know if you have to apply online or fill out a form or something like that.
Yeah.
There may
The
be
one
a
they
way to
pass
get your-
at the customer service stand.
You just walk in and ask for one.
Yeah, the customer service stand is always in the back. So you walk from the back side, you go to the customer service. Nobody's
Yeah,
going to
right at
stop
the
you there.
exit. Just walk in the
Right.
exit, and they'll
Yeah.
tell the guy
Yeah.
who's checking there, I
Yeah.
want to go to customer service.
I don't even stop. I just walk on over there.
They may not even bother to stop you. So
John
All
says
right, well,
separate entrance for customer service. I don't know where that is here.
It's always in the same place in the stores,
Yeah.
opposite to the entrance, like
just
where
before
you
you,
exit.
just
Yeah.
before you get out the door.
Yeah.
I'll check Sam's Club, see what they've got, and then I'll see what Costco has, and we'll
Yeah,
make
don't rush.
And
All
again, make sure you check the warehouse because the warehouse has a lot better deals than what's online. So
Oh yeah. I gotta
Yeah.
go in the store
Yeah.
and see what
Yeah.
they've got. I was originally looking at 50 inches, and I realized that's just going to be too big.
Don't be too sure.
I just don't have the space for it.
Well, it's just remember that's diagonal.
Yeah, I'm saying this one is a 32. A 50 would take up my entire.
But if you're going to
table back.
sit that close to it, that's pretty big.
Yeah, I just
You
need
gotta
to. I just need to
10
be
10
able
feet
to.
back from a 50 at least.
I need to just be able to sit on the couch across the room and see the TV.
You know, it's right
Maybe-
beside the $1.50 hot dog stand.
That's what I do. at
maybe
Sam's Club, man.
buy an Oculus Go instead.
Yeah, there you go. Just get that. I can watch TV anywhere, or I could just
Nick-
continue to watch TV where I do at my computer, like a normal person. But
Yeah,
Just
but
get a
if
Costco
you watch
membership.
TV this close, it's like watching 60-inch anyway. So
Yeah.
Nick,
And the
just
reason
get
I'll- what?
I was going to say, just get a membership to Costco and bring your video game down with you and just
Oh my god,
play
yeah.
in the store.
That's a
That way you
great
can
to
try
go.
all the different monitors. And they would love to have you do it because it'll sell TVs.
Yeah, hey, look at me! It's the traveling video game boy.
That's it. Yeah. You can have
Honestly, though-
this is it.
The reason I don't have a Costco membership is because they don't take Mastercard.
Yeah, that's an issue for a lot of. I have a Visa debit card which I load up to buy gas and such at Costco.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
but Sam's Club does. So
All right, so now listen to this situation here. Shift. Larry Kudlow, director of National Economic Council, said Friday that Apple's technology may have been stolen by the Chinese. I don't want to surmise too much here, but Apple technology may have been picked off by China, and now China is becoming very competitive with Apple.
For China.
You've got to have rule of law, he said in an interview with Bloomberg. There are some indications from China that they are looking at that, but we don't know that yet. There's no enforcement, nothing concrete. His comments came shortly after China Commerce Ministry said Chinese and U.S. officials will meet next week. Blah blah blah. But there were other stories that were saying that how they are becoming more and more like the iPhone. And
I have two comments.
Yeah.
The first one is duh,
exactly.
and the second one is it's a great excuse for Apple because they're not selling as many phones.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
But they're manufacturing all this stuff there. You think that there's nobody there that's going to look at the technology and take it? How can they possibly think that they could protect their intellectual property and manufacture it in China, where all the components come from China? Come on.
Apple's CEO Tim Cook published a letter to investors warning of weaker than expected first quarter earnings, citing fewer iPhones upgrades than we had anticipated. The weekend demand came primarily from China, although Cook notes that in some developed markets, iPhone upgrades also were not as strong as we thought they would be. He offered several explanations for the lower earning guidance. Earlier launch timing of the iPhone XS and XS Max compared to iPhone X, the strength of the US dollar, supply constraint due to the number of new products Apple released in the fall, and overall economic weakness in some markets. But the core issue remains simple. People just aren't buying as many new iPhones as Apple hoped. All in all, Apple revised first quarter guidance forecast is dropping by $9 billion in revenue compared to its original estimate. And there was another article that he was saying, Tim Cook said, that the reason they're not selling many new ones is because people are having their old ones repaired.
And it said the typical cycle now is not 2 years, it's 3 years. People are keeping their phones longer because this works fine. There's nothing new, compelling that's coming out that people need to replace their phones unless you want to have facial recognition or, I mean, the incremental increases in quality of the camera is not enough to make people go out and spend $1,000 on a phone.
Especially now that they're not allowed to slow down the old phones anymore.
Exactly.
I have a question for you iPhone users. This actually comes from a friend of mine who's been struggling with Apple for a while. So his wife's mother passed away, and obviously all the accounts and all of that were closed. Now he wants to clean up the mother-in-law's iPhone. He has all the passwords and all the access. That's not a problem. But what he wanted was to expand the iCloud storage in order to upload everything, all the photos from the phone, preserve them, and then he can wipe out the phone. Apparently, he can't do that. So
he doesn't have access to her Apple ID.
No, he has access to her Apple ID, but the Apple ID isn't been accepted and always asks for some security code.
Two-factor authentication?
Something like that. And he goes past all of that because he does have the phone, he does have the line. I think he has all of that, but like the last 4 digits of the payment method isn't valid anymore, right? Because the account has been closed. So there's this whole mess. So I told him, why don't you just plug it into the computer and just download all the photos? And he said he tried doing it with iTunes, and apparently iTunes doesn't back up all of the photos.
You can plug it into a Windows machine, and Windows Photo will pull the pictures off an iPhone. You don't have to use iTunes.
Okay, I'll suggest him to do that.
Because the file system will show up from an iPhone on a PC.
So the
And there was
photos,
some
they
extra-
show up as an.
Well, the
Okay.
photos, if you have, I forget, what is the Windows 10 photo app called? I don't know what it's called. But it will detect, if you have to authorize the device on the phone, you'll say, do you want to trust this computer? And you say yes.
Okay.
Then it will go in and it will start to pull. It will open, should by default open the Windows photo app and say, do you want to import these pictures? And you say yes.
Okay. Okay.
I did it. I did it with my iPhone 6S and my Windows 10 desktop.
Okay, I'll have him do that.
and there are
Because he's
some,
been on with Apple support for the past week and a half, and the only substantial answer going forward was your request has been received and it will be addressed in 23 days. So he's pissed off.
They've never suggested, hey, I have that Windows machine laying around, just plug it in.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll have him to go through that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another reason I got to not moving to Apple. Something is as simple as that's supposed to be. It's like
before we go away, there's something here just so people would know. A popular weather app built by a Chinese tech conglomerate has been collecting an unusual amount of data from smartphones around the world and attempting to subscribe some users to paid services without permission, according to a London-based security firm research. And it says the free app, one of the world's most downloaded weather apps in Google Play Store, is from TCL Communication Technology Holdings of Shenzhen, China. TCL makes Alcatel and BlackBerry branded phones. While a sister company makes televisions, the app called Weather Forecast, World Weather Accurate Radar, collects data including smartphone users, geographic location, email addresses, and unique 15-digit International Mobile Equipment Identity, IMEI. So you just, if you are using that application, be aware that this is happening. They're talking about thousands and thousands of users that were subscribed to paid services without their consent.
That's just commerce.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's just commerce. That's right.
Mm.
All
So
right.
one last thing about Apple is I saw a story just came out a couple of days ago saying that Apple is considering building their high-end phones now in India. So
That's because India will not let them sell it there unless they produce so much of it, so many percents of it over there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
I guess they already they know that they cannot compete with Huawei because now the people are throwing their money to the Chinese because of the problems with Apple and the problem that that the US is having with Huawei. So yeah, them moving to India is going to be like a gold mine for them. Absolutely. All right. Anything else quick before we leave? No? Is that it? Are we done? Okay. All right. Thanks, Spence, Gal, Mike, Nick. And again, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together here. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive, update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Tonight at 7, I'm sure Nick, you're doing a show, right?
Yep.
Tonight at 7, Nick Craig hosts Against the Norm. And at 9, Mike Phillips hosts the Crypto Culture Show, both on Wilmington's Big Talker 106.7 FM. And if you don't know how to get to tune in, the link is up under links on the left in the menu. See you next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.